Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys.
I'm talking about we're beaten.
We're not beaten.
I'm not beaten. We're in this game. Anybody here tired?
No.
Sonny, not tired. Holt?
I'm just warming up, Sheriff.
Connor?
I'm ready, John.
Bertie, you with us?
Yep.
Good. Because the Rangers are starting to breathe through their mouths. The strides are getting shorter. Do not give these guys too much respect. They didn't pull a dog sled, did they?
No.
Didn't skate the river, did they?
No.
This is our pond.
Now Cameron Hughes gets the red over the line. Clean pass for Morrison across. The shot, they score! Ryan Winterton and the Firebirds take the lead. 6:08 to go in the first period. Logan Morrison right up the tape for Winterton. And Coachella Valley out in front for the first time in the series.
You know they just want you to bleed, right? I'm here to do whatever they need me to do. You know, if they need me to bleed, then I'll bleed for my team.
Let's go. Pretty boy. Let's go. Introduce yourself.
Jim.
My name's also Jim.
Problem solved.
Thanks, James.
Now, as far as serving the tendy goes, if they're shooting, you're getting your body in front of it. Everybody blocking shots. All you useless guys, blocking shots, bugging Appledorns. Now everybody knows the role. Eh, Sanguinet?
Everyone knows the role. Everyone does their job.
Yeah, so.
For Parsonen, McCormick tries to jam it loose in front, comes to Del Gaizo, pass broken up, John Hayden coming in shorthanded, looking for the hat trick, Hayden's in, he scores! John Hayden, a shorthanded goal, the hat trick for Hayes, 1:57 left in the second period, and it's 5-1 Coachella Valley.
I want to win that championship tonight, but I want to win it clean. Old-time hockey. Like when I got started, you know? Peters, Toe Blake, Dick Clapper, Eddie Shore, those guys were the greats.
Reg is our coach. Yeah, sure, old-time hockey.
Like Eddie Shore.
Yeah. Coach, our line starts?
Sure.
You were born to be hockey players. Every one of you. And you were meant to be here tonight. This is your time.
Greetings, friends, and Firebirds fans, and welcome to the Fire and Ice podcast presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. Fire and Ice, the official podcast of your Coachella Valley Firebirds of the American Hockey League. Coming to you from Palm Desert, California, a mere Jagger Firkus wrist rocket away from the Birds' home ice of Acrisure Arena, I'm your host, Judd Spicer, along with this bi-monthly podcast endeavor. Also, again, for this third season of CV Hockey, again, I have the privilege and the pleasure of serving as your Firebirds Insider. Those articles, found monthly, may be found online, as with all things Coachella Valley Firebirds, at cvfirebirds.com. That includes, certainly not limited to, team, roster, merchandise, ticket information, and as of this week, a great place and a great opportunity to get your tickets for the AHL All-Star Classic. Yeah, right here in Palm Desert. Will be the focus of the AHL universe. That, of course, takes place February 2 and 3. Get those tickets for February 2nd, including the AHL All-Star Skills Competition and then February 3rd, the AHL All-Star Challenge. Per the presenting sponsor of this endeavor, Desert Willow Golf Resort, right here, also in sunny Palm Desert, California, just a mere 3+ miles away from the Birds' home ice of Acrisure Arena. Get those tee times online for both the Mountain View and Firecliff courses, respectively, at desertwillow.com. While you're on there poking around, be sure to check out the awesome and on-site Palm Desert Golf Academy, just as it's an interesting time for the Birds, just as we are the hosts of the AHL All-Star event, the All-Star Classic taking place in February. Also a very unique time, particularly this week and in weeks ahead, I guess I would say, for Desert Willow. The Mountain View course, just about to open. That is actually taking place this Friday, October 25, reopening from the Overseed. Also reopening from Overseed is the Palm Desert Golf Academy and the practice facility. Now, there's an interesting window at Desert Willow because the Firecliff course, of which I discussed last time, enjoyed a recent renovation, new greens, new tee boxes. That course is also open until November 4th. So we have this nice little Desert Willow window where both courses are open. Then the Firecliff goes to Overseed, and you can play the Mountain View. Again, check it all out at desertwillow.com. All right, not alone on this episode and edition of the Fire and Ice podcast. Enthused for this guest, first-time guest, second foreign-born guest, I think, ever in the history of this endeavor. Firebird starting goaltender Ales Stezka, the native of the Czech Republic, going to be joining me here shortly. Very much looking forward to this visit with Ales. Interesting guy, funny guy, tall guy, talented guy. Going to be speaking with him here momentarily. In the interim, let us get to this episode's Firebirds Freeze Frame segment. It's going to start just with a brief overview of what has been observed to date. Yeah, the record, just 3 games in the books. We are under 500 at 1-2, a very, very small sample size, friends. Heck, we got 95% of the season to go, according to my Minnesota math. New head coach Derek Laxdal, I like what he has said. I like what he has said in the post-game press conferences for the Birds' 2 home games to date. He's been very honest, very candid. I like this guy. I like his personality. He's a hockey guy. He also seems very much a straight shooter to me. Also, like Ales Stezka, a very tall guy, is Derek Laxdal. But he said this, and he said this a few times, and he said it in both post-game pressers, respectively, that he thought his boys were playing a little tight, thought the hands were a little tight on the stick, and I think that we could see that as this new tapestry of players comes together really for the first time. You know, there's not much of a training camp in the American Hockey League. As they were prepping for those 2 first games, they hadn't had all that much practice time together until this week, or until this Friday, and we'll get to the schedule soon. But until this Friday, they really hadn't had a ton of practice time together, and now they have. But yeah, it's looked a little shaky. It's looked a little choppy. Some of the transitions, some of the neutral zone play hasn't been there yet. And that's understandable. It's a lack of familiarity. Again, a lot of new guys coming together, playing together for the first time as the Birds delve deeper into this 3rd season. I trust it's going to get there. These Firebirds, friends, they do not have a need for speed because they already have speed in abundance. A lot of youth, a lot of really, really fast guys combining with our returning Birds and our cache of free agent signings. And you can certainly count yours truly as a believer that this thing is indeed going to come together. As per our previous 2 seasons, talent really abounds on this Firebirds roster. Especially, I'm just going to point out a few guys. Actually, our guest in this episode, Ales Stezka. He has already proven, as he did last season when he had a terrific closing stretch, certainly over his last 15 games, I want to say. And I'll ask Ales about this momentarily. Yeah, his last 15 games last year, 12-2-2. That has carried it over. Yeah, he's gone 0-2 in the 2 games he has played thus far, both of those at home. But he has played really, really well. 47 shots, 42 saves. He has already popped out to me as somebody that I believe to be a top 10 goaltender in the American Hockey League, and I believe is somebody that can lead us not just into the playoffs, but deep into the playoffs. Among the youngsters, also sticking out to me, the aforementioned Jagger Firkus. He has come, friends, as advertised. Had the goal, the lone goal, in the Firebirds home opener and season opener back on Friday, October the 11th. But as Troy Bodie described to us in the season debut episode of the Fire and Ice podcast, he's got a great shot. That goal he had, if you hadn't watched it, go back and watch it. Maybe even watch it in slow motion, because it actually encompasses everything that we've been told about young Jagger Firkus. He's especially good and a unique player when it comes to angles and combining that atypically powerful shot. Atypically powerful, not just anybody his size, but anybody in the entire American Hockey League. That atypically powerful shot with a unique sense of ice, a unique sense of spacing, a unique sense of angles. Got that 1 goal to date through 3 games. Jagger Firkus does not in any way appear undone by the size or the speed of the American Hockey League, and I very much trust and believe that as the season goes on, we're not just going to see a lot more goals from Jagger, we're going to see a lot of really cool and exciting and unique and special goals. All right, moving on through this Firebirds Freeze Frame segment, talk about the schedule upcoming this week, but a lone game, as prefaced, this Friday, October 25th, at home versus our old friends from Ontario. Our I-10 rivalry renewed. Try to rein in the rain this Friday, October 25th, 7 p.m. puck drop. And that is going to be a fun night, friends. Some music, some free scarf giveaways for Dia de los Muertos night taking place at Acrisure Arena. Still some tickets available for that. Certainly hope to see you at the Birds Barn this Friday. And then, as we've learned across the past 2 seasons, and we see again, the AHL starts slow. The schedule can be kind of weird. It can be kind of aberrant. Between this Friday the 25th and Wednesday, November 20th, between these days, about 25 days, there is but one Firebirds home game that will take place here in the sands of Palm Desert, that being Sunday, November 10th. That is a 3 p.m. set versus the same Ontario Reign. So in this 25-day window, not going to be a lot of action happening, except for my team, the Arctic Chokes, and the Firebirds Adult League. Not going to be a lot to see happening, but fear not. After that, the schedule really picks up. As I mentioned in the season debut episode of this endeavor, got 9 home games in December, got 7 more taking place in January, and that's all leading up again to the All-Star Classic taking place in our backyard Sunday, February 2nd and Monday, February 3rd. So rest easy. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of away games coming up. There's going to be a lot of action to follow. It just won't be here for now, but it's coming back soon. Stats to date for the 1 and 2 Firebirds. That places us currently 6th. Again, very small sample size. 6th place in the Pacific Division to get this 3rd season of CV hockey underway. Point leaders, it is a quad of them. 3 points apiece for Messrs. Fleury. Young Edward Chalet. Going to be asking Ales Stezka about him soon. He's got 3 points. Edward Chalet done it in just 2 games. Brandon Biro, he's got 3 points. And the aforementioned Jagger Firkus also with 3 points on this young season. Cale Fleury, to reference him again, coming off the Hattie, the natural hat trick, as it were, this Friday past in the Birds' victory over San Diego on the road. Kind of a paperwork transaction for Cale. Went up a couple days ago to the Kraken, and now back here as a blue liner again with the Firebirds. As far as the 2-pointers, right behind those guys, we've got a trio of them. Newcomer Ben Myers with 2 points on the year to date. Captain Max McCormick still awaiting his first goal. He's got 2 assists. And also awaiting his first goal, newcomer, the youngster Ty Nelson, with 2 points on this young season. Per the netminders, the aforementioned Ales Stezka, again, going to be visiting with him soon. .894 save percentage thus far through his 2 games played, with the 2.63 goals against. And young Nike Koko coming to our way out of Finland. He won that game versus the San Diego Gulls. He is 1-0, having stopped 30 of 35 shots in that victory. All right, friends, all that offered, all that prefaced, let's get to the visit with this week's guest, Birds netminder Ales Stezka. Firebirds friends, as offered earlier and throughout this episode thus far. My guest for this Fire and Ice podcast is a 27-year-old native of the Czech Republic, fourth-round draft pick of my favorite NHL team. Yes, my Minnesota bias is at play. That was back in 2015. He is a equally buoyant personality as he does height at 6'5". Now in his second season as a Coachella Valley Firebird, we welcome netminder Ales Stezka to the Fire and Ice podcast. Hello, Stezzy.
Thank you for inviting me here. And I'm very happy to be here and tell something more about me, maybe to your fans, and thank you.
Yeah,
and I'm doing good. You know, like we're looking forward for another game. It's Friday, and we're just getting busy, trying to be ready, and improve ourselves, especially after the last 3 games. You know, we have only 1 win, and we need more, and we want more, and yeah, we are like trying to be better.
well, we will certainly get to the games and the present, but let's go back to the past a little bit. I did not want to butcher the name of the city where you're from, but I found references to 2 cities. So I want to make sure we get it right. I want to make sure my pronunciation is right. I've got Liberec as your hometown. Is that accurate?
Like, I mean, I lived there a long time because
Okay.
I played there hockey, but I'm from my real hometown. It's Pilsen.
Okay. That's what the AHL.com says, but there are other places that reference the other city. But you are originally from Pilsen.
Yeah, Pilsen. That's
Okay.
from the best beer on the world.
I was going to say, that is the home of Pilsner Urquell, correct?
Yes.
Did you
That's
drink
right.
that when you were like a baby and a child? Does everybody drink that
Yeah,
growing
like
up?
we're saying the good story. Like when we're like very small babies, we're not drinking the milk, but we're drinking the beer from the babies. You know.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you if it was indeed Liberec, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, from the Czech Republic. That part of your home country, they might not grow up drinking beer. They might grow up as ski jumpers, right?
Yep, that's right. We have a lot ski jumpers from this town because they have a good school there for the kids, because they have better weather for the winter, you know, and everything. But yeah, I mean, like Liberec, that's like I lived there like 8 years, you know, and I know the city very good, but I'm not living there anymore. We're living in a different city. That's a little bit bigger city, Ostrava, and we're living there. We have the like our second home.
Yeah. Did you ever try ski jumping?
No. I will break my legs or something, and and no, that's too risky for me.
Well, let's discuss then a different winter sport. I had read about you that you first became interested in hockey, or at least first became interested in goaltending because you were a fan of the Flower, Marc-Andre Fleury.
That's true. When I was like 6-year-old guy, I live like 10, maybe 15 minutes from the Pilsen and in the smaller city. And they're actually in that time, they're building the new arena there. And my granddad bring me there to look like how they're building the new one. And they said like, all right, after they will finish the arena, you can try to skate a little bit. And then I tried to skate there, and we're watching the bigger guys, you know, in the Pilsen, and I just like, hey, I want to be a goalie. I want to be straight a goalie. I don't want to be a player. And then when I was started playing hockey, maybe like 1-2 years later, I started watching a little bit more like NHL, especially the Marc-Andre Fleury, because he played in Pittsburgh with the yellow pads, yellow gloves, you know, and and he looks like a nice guy, and he played very good. And I think he have like so many, like, I mean, so many young guys love him just because he's very funny guy. He's smiling everywhere, and I feel like I'm still. I will be happy to play against him, but it's so hard, and he's playing maybe the last season. But I saw him one day 8 years ago, 7 years ago. I saw him in the Pittsburgh when he was practicing before the season started. When I play in the Chicago Steel, the USHL.
Right.
USHL team, and we have the tournament in the Pittsburgh practice facility. And I saw him there, like walking outside, practicing on the ice. And that's the biggest how say that, experience for me to be closer to him. And yeah, I still watching him. Like he's like, it's unbelievable. He's playing like 20 years, 20
Yep.
years in the NHL, 21, and he's still doing good. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, good guy to emulate. Of course, second most wins all time. More of my Minnesota bias now with the Minnesota Wild. And yeah, he's almost 40, still got it. 17 wins in what was basically a timeshare last year. And just one game so far for the Flower this year. Philippe Gustafsson obviously playing well. Enough about the Wild. Let's get back to Ales Stezka. I want to talk about, you've had an interesting road, an interesting hockey road, in that you reference your time in the USHL. The Wild drafted you, came to America, played 2 years in that league, the first of which in lovely, and I say that sarcastically, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That must have been kind of I don't need to put it nice, it might have been kind of a rough winter introduction to the United States.
I mean, yeah, because like, this is the first time in the States, like, for more than the week, and everything's new. You live in the village family, and everything's about just to learn something new. But yeah, the winter, like, just like one day we had like crazy weather there, and we had like, I don't know, in the feeds, but so much snow, so much snow, and they canceled the practice days for 2 days just because they sent us the message like, hey, you can go to the ring because the snow. I just like, all right, all right, and that's, yeah, the weather there. But I'm a winter guy. I love the snow. I love very cold weather, and I enjoy the time there. But this season it's not goes like very good, like what I want, and for another season where I get a trade to the Chicago Steel, and I think that's much better year for me and for my family, and like more experience and bigger opportunity.
Yeah, and the stats bear that out. Although, of course, after those 2 years here in the States, you then went back to your native Czech Republic, played 4 years there, played very, very well before coming back to the States in the AHL and joining us with the Firebirds. When you came back last year, and I've talked with your goalie coach, Colin Zulianello, about this, not necessarily about you specifically, but about that transition from the ice, the bigger ice, then coming to these dimensions. And it is a transition, correct? I mean, you're studying different angles. You're playing a larger ice. The players are coming at you, and they are oriented in different ways. Was it a difficult transition coming back to the size of ice?
Yeah, it's a big difficult because on the bigger ice you have more time. You have more time to read the situations, to be on the good spots, because you have like a little bit more time, and that's maybe a little bit easier. But here on the smaller ice, everything is much faster. You don't have a time for thinking about like too much. You need more like skating, so staying on the feet and reading the angles because it's a little bit different. And but I mean, like for goalie, it's maybe a little bit better because it's quicker. And if you have like quicker game, quicker hockey, yeah, I think like for every goalie will say that too. It's better too because then you have more shots, then you have more what to do, then you're still you are still in the game. You're still doing something, and that's I think the biggest difficult between the bigger and smaller ice.
Yeah, and we could see you making progress over the course of the season, Stezzy. Ultimately, you started 28 games for us. In the last 15 games, and I referenced this earlier in this program, the last 15 starts for Ales Stezka last year, 12-2-1. I mean, you closed the end of the season, those last few months, like a freight train, man. Did you feel yourself getting more comfortable? Did you sense that you were playing better?
Yeah. I mean, like, uh, the biggest change last season is get like after the Christmas, because before the Christmas I had like some injuries, some, I didn't feel like very good, like myself on the ice, but then I start like feel much more comfy, start more doing the things better on the ice, and then I play more games too, and yeah, then I start like feeling much better, and I just trying to keep going, keep trying, do my best, and just improve to the another level.
And I'm not trying to create or start any controversy here, but in my mind, these are my words, and I know that there are others that shared this opinion last year that you played so well toward the close of the season. We were wondering, if not occasionally thinking and hoping out loud, that you might start some of the Firebirds playoff games last year. Of course, your former teammate, Chris Drieger, great guy, great goalie, played very, very well. He started all of the playoff games. Were you hoping that you would appear in one of those, if not a couple?
I mean, everyone wants to play, everyone wants to play, but I know the situation before the playoffs, like Chris will start the playoffs, and he did a good job, he took us to the finals, and I just try to focus and be ready like every day if something happened, just to be for the guys, for the players, like uh, be a good support for them, and just try and make the good atmosphere in the locker room, be a good teammate, and yeah, but how like I said, everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to playing the games, and especially the playoffs. It's the best time in the season, But I know that last year I know the situation before the playoffs, and I try to be take the positive things, not be the negative or something like that. I don't like that, and yeah, it's my like first year, and I just know like if you want to play, you need to be patient. You need to wait for your chance, but you need to be ready for a chance, because if you had the opportunity, you need to be ready and take the opportunity for you.
And to the credit of the Firebirds coaching staff, both former and present, I mean, the year previous, in our first year, Joey Decord played all 26 playoff games. So they did show the consistency and the continuity of doing the same again last year. They had a guy that went with one guy. Chris Drieger played well. Speaking of Chris, again, a gentleman that I really enjoyed speaking with and interviewing and seeing at the dog park when he lived out here. He's a very cerebral guy. He's a thinker. He's a smart guy. And one time, for one of the articles, Desi, Chris and I had a pretty lengthy talk about sports psychology and the study of being a goalie from a very mental perspective. Are those things that you also do in your preparation? Do you study sports psychology? Is that part of your prep?
Like I'm maybe on a different way than Chris, because I the best way for me is when you have like after practices or after the games, I trying to clear my mind from the hockey, because I have two kids and both of them playing hockey too. But that's a little bit different. I trying to focusing like for their hockey, try to help them, not focusing on my hockey. And that's the biggest help for myself to clear my mind. And like if you have kids, you have like less time for yourself, and then it's better to clear the mind because you can go with them to the park, go outside, play the hockey or something. And my wife, she is like beautiful woman and beautiful person, because she know the psychology a little bit, and we're talking if something like happening or something, we're talking about that. We have a good communication relationship to each other.
Yeah.
And that's my way how to I try and prepare for the games or for the practices for another days. But most I try like to clear my mind like with the kids and not thinking about hockey too much.
I do want to get back to your family momentarily. One more on the, I guess, the Firebirds coaching staff that I've referenced now a few times. Colin Zulianello, rather, now the Firebirds goalie coach for the third time in as many seasons. Our head coach, however, as we all well know, is now Derek Laxdal. It is no longer Dan Bilesma. What have you noticed about the differences between their styles and coaching between Dan Bilesma and our guy Derek Laxdal?
I think that's a little bit too early talking about like the big differences. But I mean, like Derek, he's a good coach. He knows what he's doing. He have so many experience from juniors, from pro hockey, and I mean, he's a very nice guy. I like he's communicating. He's talking with us, like Dan last year. I think that's the same way. They're like talking before the season for sure, and they had like some plan like to each other, because you have like Firebirds and Krakens, but it's like one organization. And the big differences are, I mean, just maybe some like small details, but I will keep them in the locker room. And I mean, like we have good chemistry in the team, and everything is good. Everything is good. Just trying to improve ourselves right now and be ready for another games. But like I said, coach, he's a very good guy. We have a new assistant coach as well. Very nice guy too, and that's actually I have one funny story, because our video coach is a new one too, Peter Tommy, and he's a video coach here, and I play with him like goalie partners in Chicago Steel like 7 years ago, and now we're in the same team, but he's like a video coach. But yeah, I mean, it's good to be with him again, work with each other, and yeah, I have just a positive things here, and we're enjoying the everyday here.
Friends, you're tuning into the Fire and Ice podcast presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. My guest is Firebirds netminder Ales Stezka. Reference the team and the roster a little bit. Stezzy got a lot of new guys, got a lot of young guys. I mean, there are about 10 guys that can't even buy a Pilsner Urquell. And we have like 12 players on the roster, all told, that are 22 and younger. Among them, 19-year-old, your countryman, Edward Chalet, played very well. Didn't play the first game. Seen him on the last two games. Seen him appear on the power play. He's got 3 points in those two games. Are you helping him along in his introduction to the United States?
Actually, he's living with us. I take him at our house. He's staying with us because I know how hard it is for a young guy to be in the new country, to be alone. Like sitting at the hotel. Like then I know from my experience, if you sit at a hotel just yourself and you have nothing what to do, then you're thinking about the hockey too much. And then if you start thinking like too much, then you're not playing very well. And I don't want for him to be alone somewhere on the hotel, and I just give him the hand and tell him like, hey, if you want, you can live with us. And he just like he didn't think it. He just like, all right, yes, I want it. We just beg him from the hotel, and he's staying with us. And he's very nice guy, he's very talented guy. And yeah, he scored the goals because I trying to explain him where to shooting and how the goal is thinking, and I trying to help him about this side too. But I trying to help him like a normal person in the normal life, because I know it's especially like the banks, the monies, everything is different than in the Europe. And I trying to like tell him like how it's everything goes, the taxes and everything, like what he needs. And I mean, we have good relationship, and I'm happy we have him here. And now maybe he playing with our kids mini hockey right now.
Well, I think that Ales Stezka would prove a good mentor, and I say that not just because I'm enjoying this visit, but because I so enjoyed, as did many, many thousands of others, a great video that the Firebirds put out last year. I think it was in April. The Firebirds, of course, have a very talented staff, a very talented roster, and a great marketing and social media team. And the mic'd up video of Ales Stezka during practice, one of the most viewed Firebirds videos ever. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to suggest that you type that in and watch how the personality really comes out, which includes, but not limited to, Stezzy, you like to talk to yourself. You like to talk about yourself in the third person. You like to sing during practice. You like to have fun with your teammates and rib them. It's about a 7-minute video that will have you laughing for 6.5 minutes straight, I think. Are all those things accurate about you, or are you just playing it up for that vid?
No, like I will start like it is funny because after the practice, they're talking with the media staff there or players, especially Jimmy Schultz from last season. He's playing in San Jose right now, I think. But he tell them like, hey, that's not just on the video. He's like talking like every single day like that. He's talking to himself, and I just like, yeah, that's like my style because I doing the same thing at home. If I have like, I don't know, if I'm trying to clean the dishes or something, I just talking to myself. I don't know why, but it's funny because sometimes my wife telling me like, hey, what you saying here? I just like, I don't know. I just talking to myself, and she thinking I talking to her. I just like, no, I talking to myself. Like, but I like to rip the guys, like because they're doing the same thing to me, on the ice. If they score the goal, they start celebrating. But I love the challenge with them, like rip them a little bit, they rip me too. But yeah, that's a normal day because if like today we have had the practice and there is like 5-6 minutes they're doing some drill without a shot, and I start singing the "Take Me Home" again, and I just think about I just like, yeah, that's like normally that's not just on the video. Like I doing that like normally. Like so many players saying like goalies are different, and I agree. The goalies are different, but I mean, you have like two different goalie types. You have goalies who's talking, doing the jokes, trying to be like the positive, but then you have the very introvert, the goalies, they're trying to have like their like bubble and stay in the bubble. But the players, they don't understand the goalie types and the goalie bubbles and like this. They're just trying to rip us. Oh, you are goalie, you are crazy, but I agree, but I trying to explain them how it works, but they don't want to like understand that. I just like, yeah. But I mean, yeah, the Micah video, like when I saw that first time, after like 30 seconds, I just turned off the video. I just like, no, I can't watch this. Then I turn on again, and after maybe like 1 minute, I turn off again, and maybe I watch the video like third, fourth time, and then I said like, okay, it's not like too bad, but it's crazy, you know. But then like my wife tell me like, hey, it's funny, you know, like you're fine. I just say, yeah, but it's crazy to hear like myself talking on the Micah video, you know, and
Right.
but yeah, we're doing that like every single day on the practices. On the if we're doing like some different media stuff or something, we're trying to do something like positive, you know, some like smiles, do something like funny, and that's our mentality. Be like positive, enjoy the time we're living just one, you know, just once. And
That talking to yourself, Alish, or singing, do you also do that during games?
yes, yes, yes. Like I mean, if someone like watching me maybe closer, or they know that, because if you have the commercial break, or if the refs talking like a little bit longer time and we're waiting for another play, I start like talking to myself or signaling. Or you know, the best is the third period in the CV on the on our game, home game, because they're playing the take me home.
Right. The country road, sure.
Yeah, and then I started singing too. And like I will give them the playlist, but if I will give them the playlist, I will sing in like whole game. And that's a good idea. But yeah, if I have time and like yeah, I'm singing to myself, because you still trying like be in the game, and then you're trying to be positive and focusing for another puck, you know. And but if you have a little bit time, I'm singing.
Couple more for you today, Alish. I don't want to out you with this question or interrupt your privacy or your family's privacy, but I did get a couple reports, I guess I would say, a couple notes in recent weeks that at the public skates at the Burger Foundation Iceplex, the adjacent ice, of course, next to Acrisure Arena, that folks have seen you out there and seen you out there just going to skate in an open skate with your kids.
Yep, that's like us. We're living at the hockey rink every single day. That's actually funny, because we had the day off. We had day off, and I just say, all right, what can we do? But then I figure out we have a public skate, and we have a normal practice with the kids. And yeah, I spend the day off on the rink. Like I skate like 3 hours, you know, and I trying to be on the ice with the kids a lot. And if we have time, and because if you playing like a lot games in the season and you don't have a time like every single time, then and if I have time right now, I trying to spend the time with the kids on the ice, you know, like give them something, try to teach them a little bit. And yeah, we're skate like 3 hours at Saturday on the public skate too.
I'll ask you lastly, Stezzy, I know that last year, or I'm pretty certain, correct me if I'm wrong, that you did not have your sons or your wife out here in the Coachella Valley. They were not here, but now this year they are out here for the season, correct?
No, they came here in October 10th.
For this season.
No, last season too.
Okay. So they were out here for
Yeah.
all of last year too. Okay. Then I read that incorrectly. My apologies. How important is that for you to have your kids and your wife out here with you in Southern California?
Like, I mean, my family is the number one. You know, like I know like the hockey, it's important for me, because I'm very happy and very lucky to do the like hobby and still like have a job, you know. We're doing like what we're loving. But on my first place in my heart is my family. And last year I spent the time without a family like 2 months before the season, and I will tell you, feel like never before, like very bad, And this year I bring them to the Seattle for a training camp too because I feel like much better too, and I don't want to be without them, and they're like the number one for me.
And your boys, I should also inquire, are you, I don't want to say training, that might sound too intense a word, but are you working with them to also be goalies?
I tell them like, hey, I don't want like to make the decision like, okay, I'm a goalie, you are be a goalie too. But I ask them, all right, do you want to be a hockey player or do you want to do a soccer? Do you want to be a hockey goalie or something? And they tell me both like, I want to be a hockey goalie like you, Dad. And I know that because when the older son, when he was like 1 year old, he started playing with a stick, everything. I just say, all right, he will be a hockey player. The other son, he did the same thing. I just say, all right, they know what they want, like in 1 year olds, and I tell them, hey, if you want to play hockey, I want you will do that for 100%. I will give you the whatever you need. I will give you the some tapes or something. I will teach you. But if you want to be a goalie, you need to do everything like 100%. And they're happy to play the hockey. They're trying to learn, and yeah, I'm very happy. Like they're playing the hockey. Like okay, it's better if they're playing the soccer, because I don't understand the soccer, and I can help them, but the hockey is better option for us.
Well, to an undoubtedly great dad and a equally great goaltender whom we've enjoyed watching progress over the course of this first and now into the second season with the CV Firebirds, a virtual toast to you with Pilsner Urquell, Ales Stezka. Thanks for joining. A lot of hockey left to be played. Let's have a great season ahead, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and yeah, see you at the rink again.
All right, dudes. It's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Fire and Ice podcast presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. So appreciative of your continued and ongoing time, your interest, your ears, your support of this endeavor. Additional gratitude goes to this episode's guest, Birds netminder Ales Stezka, and of course the sponsor of this podcast, Desert Willow Golf Resort, home to the Firecliff and Mountain View courses, in addition to the awesome and excellent on-site Palm Desert Golf Academy. Get those tee times online for desertwillow.com. Be mindful, friends, of the overseed season, although again, a unique window about to happen at Desert Willow, whereupon the Mountain View golf course, the Palm Desert Golf Academy, and the practice facility, they will all reawake from the overseed season, and both courses will be open until the Firecliff undergoes its own overseed session, that taking place on November 5. So right now, get it while you can. Both courses are open. Make it a great putt-to-puck segue. Headed on over to Desert Willow and then skate right down Cook Street to Varner, about 3+ miles, over to a Birds game at Acrisure Arena. Great opportunity to do so this Friday, by the way, for Dia de los Muertos night. Be a great double dip day. It's supposed to be a beauty here in the desert. Don't forget to check out cvfirebirds.com, by the way, for all things Coachella Valley Firebirds, tickets, roster, merchandise, and individual tickets as of this week, now on sale for the upcoming AHL All-Star Classic taking place here right in the Desert Sands, right here at Acrisure Arena, the center of the AHL universe. Is our backyard. Sunday, February 2, Monday, February 3. Individual tickets now available at cvfirebirds.com. Thanks again for tuning in, Firebirds flock. We'll see you this Friday night. Hope to bring a little pain to the rain. October 25th, Dia de los Muertos night, 7 p.m. puck drop. Until then, and always, remember, one valley, one team, rising together.